Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 527. I am your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
Mark Augustiniak.
Hey.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. This week, building the list continues with 1983's Halloween. More on that later. First, I would like to know, Matt, what's your favorite licensed video game?
Instinct says Batman. I don't know which Arkham game, but one of them.
Yeah, that was your gut?
Yeah.
I think that's the logical answer. Mark, what about you?
Turtles in Time.
Oh, man. You had that
one. Well, I actually, Shredder's Revenge does kind of take the cake now.
Yeah. That's the thing. My gut reaction was like Batman NES, but then with some logic applied to it, I'm like, it's probably...
I'm so hardwired to say Turtles in Time for so long, and you know, Shredder's Revenge is still kind of new, so I had to start getting used to saying that.
I do miss the old days of licensed video games, though. I know that things are technically much better now, but like Shredder's Revenge is a perfect example of what I would love to have more of. Like, something that still looks and feels like something classic, but is not actually impossible to play like some of the old games were. But, you know, I feel like most licensed things now are either these crazy big expensive productions that take years upon years to get, you know, sequelized, or they're phone games that no one plays or touches and forgets about in 3 weeks. Or there are card things that you have to spend money to get diamonds, to get pearls, to get gems to turn into Batmans. I don't know. But,
yeah.
Hey, you know, Spider-Man. Big license game. There you go. That's not the one we're talking about this week, though. This week we're talking about Halloween for the Atari 2600. Developed by Micrographic Image. And also, I also saw VSS Incorporated, so I want to give credit where it's potentially due. But published by Wizard Video Games, released on the Atari 2600 in October of 1983, just in time for its 40th anniversary. Matt, you've added this classic video game to the list. Back of the box reads, for one player. Can you live through the night he came home? The boogeyman will get you if you don't watch out. Pulse-pounding paranoia screams in your skull as you run for your life. Every step may be your last as you flee from the things that go bump in the night. Feverish with fear, cold sweat clings to your flesh. How real can an electronic nightmare be? Find out! Brought to you by Wizard Video Games. Matt, I think we'll save that question. Why did this one get added to the list for season 11?
There are two reasons. The first one is, I'm a very big fan of the property. I think any listener would know that. And I figured I would play like the one game that they have. Now I know he's appeared in other things, most recently Fortnite now. But this is the one licensed game that they have. Two, I figured last month I gave you all Sekiro, so I'll give you all something easy.
That was a good break. My follow-up question, do you think you'd still be a fan of the series if this was your first exposure to
boy.
Halloween?
I don't know. I mean, it's the Atari 2600. I don't know what you can... I don't know, we can get into it later, but I don't think this is that bad for what it is.
It's not, but yeah, I mean, what it is a very simple video game. Mark, how would you describe the gameplay in Halloween, the video game?
It definitely has like a endless arcade ideal behind it.
Yeah.
There's no real ending. It's just go as long as you can until you die, I guess.
Who's ahead?
That seems right.
But yeah, it's just you go and find, you're Laurie Strode, and you're going and finding kids that I guess you were babysitting or something, and you're trying to drag them across to the either end of the house, and they're technically safe, I guess, in the same house that the killer is walking around in. But yeah, it's just that. But yeah, I don't know. It's a simple game, but for an Atari game, I do think it's one of the better ones. Oddly enough, like the music isn't bad. The sound effects don't really annoy me. I mean, I'm sure after a while, if you're playing for so long, you might get sick of the theme.
Yeah,
but that's just because of time. Like if you just heard it by itself and for first couple minutes, it's really not that bad. And this was before a lot of censorship was happening, so there is gore. There is blood splatter. You do get beheaded. Kids can die.
Kids get beheaded. Blood shoots from their neck.
Yeah, if you play the original Fallout games, the old CRPGs, 1 and 2, I'm not sure if you could kill anyone, including children or not, in those. But I know, obviously in games now, it's just a taboo thing. You just can't really do it.
Yeah.
But for Halloween, that just wasn't a thought. They were just, it was just a game being a game. Killer kills. There's no prejudice there. It's just everyone's fair game. So it's kind of neat to just not have, I guess, Michael Myers censored in such a way, but it's also just a very little thing and it's all pixels, so it's it doesn't really make, you know what I mean? I can't really see it being such a big deal now. I don't know how it was back then, but I'm sure it wasn't really an afterthought.
It probably, I don't imagine, I mean, I don't know, if you look at the front cover of this, I think that's the one thing, right? If someone bought a game thinking, oh, I'm buying a Halloween video game for my child, and then that's what you got, I imagine parents would be upset. But the cover of this, the front cover of this, is exactly the cover for the film. Which this is there's a rental market at this point. There's still home media. It's early, right? You're inexpensive at this point in times. But it's I think people would be familiar enough with the cover to know that this is based on that. You probably wouldn't buy a video game based on such a graphic movie for a child, probably.
Well, right. I don't know how true this is, but I watched the old Angry Video Game Nerd episode.
Yeah,
where he played this, and I think if he's right and it wasn't just a script thing, that company, to save money, they stopped printing the labels on the cartridges and just had tape over it with the word Halloween just written on the tape with a marker, and they shipped it out like that.
Yes, I had read that as well. I don't know. I couldn't find a picture of any of those. Could you guys find any anywhere?
He had it in the episode.
I saw his picture.
That's
so I can imagine going to a garage sale, just picking that up, not knowing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Exactly what it is.
No, that was I mean, again, I think it's true. I mean, even the Wikipedia page says citation needed, but that was the story is that Wizard Games went into bankruptcy due to this, and actually the other game he plays in that episode, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I guess it was such high cost for the license, but so few copies were sold that as they were going into bankruptcy, this game was being shipped, and to save production costs, like you said, Mark, they just started writing Halloween on some scotch tape not scotch tape, masking tape, and slapping on the plastic cartridge.
Which I feel kind of adds to it. I feel like that gives it a good, creepy aesthetic in a way. If you think
I like
it.
that a lot. If physical media were still prevalent, I feel like that'd be a cool thing to do. Puppet Combo needs to make something like that happen with, a game collection. Mark, you described the gameplay a little bit, but for those who've not seen it, you're playing across 2 floors.
Yeah.
It's a single screen at a time, and each screen will have a varying number of windows and or doors. Sometimes none, but sometimes all of them. You might have 2 windows up top, 2 on the bottom, with a door in the bottom middle.
Yeah, it's a faithful recreation of the Myers house, I would say.
Yeah. Now, this game refers to him as the Boogeyman. Matt, has he ever been referred? I know the shape is how Michael is described in the first movie, but the Boogeyman, is that?
I mean, that is what Tommy describes him as when he saw him outside. Call him the Boogeyman, but yes, technically the shape is how he's credited in the movies. All the movies, actually.
Yeah, in this, the Boogeyman arrives with a knife, ready to stab you and or the children on the screen. You have 3 lives before it's game over.
Right.
You move the paddle, or the joystick on the paddle to move the character. At some point, you might find what I guess it's a sword. Is that what I'm led to believe?
I feel like it's supposed to be a knife, but it's huge.
It's huge, yeah.
I wonder if it's supposed to be the hanger.
Okay.
I think the manual describes it as a knife, but it seemingly looks a lot longer than a knife.
I just pretended it was like a fire poker or something.
Yeah, it's got that's.
There's no fireplace.
So, but you can pick that up, and then you can attack the Boogeyman with it, which will net you 225 points. Other than that, were you guys successful in rescuing kids? Because I felt like I never got it.
Oh, yeah, I was.
And you just drag them off the screen, and that saves them? That's it?
You go to the end room and hit the button again, and then you get the points.
Okay, I never got that.
Either end room, up or down.
Okay.
Yeah, see, so obviously I did not play this on an authentic Atari 2600.
What? You didn't blow the dust off your old one in the attic?
Right.
Just and get your $500 copy of this game, because that's how much they seemingly go for on eBay.
Wow.
My attic's too creepy to go up there, but so I guess my buttons were like turbo activated, and I didn't realize it.
Oh, okay.
So just holding it in, the kid is like spazzing out as I'm trying to drag him across and like it was hard to get him into the final room, and then like I never had to hit a button because I guess I was already holding it down the whole time, so I just had to like glitch it over, and then once I saw how it actually plays, it was like, oh, the kids aren't supposed to be moving that quick when you're moving them along. Because, like, I didn't realize that, like, yeah, you go across the 2 different floors, but the kids and you have your own real estate of the rooms where, like, you can't cross each other, but, like, the kids are always at the very bottom of the rooms. They can't go above, but you can kind of go up and down, but you can't go into their area.
Yeah, that threw me off.
There's, like, a weird invisible wall there.
Yeah, I kept thinking something was wrong with the down button on my controller. Like, I was very confused with that. And then there were also, like, seemingly screens that would just, like, black out on the top as I was playing that I thought was something was wrong with the ROM.
I only had one room.
Mister or whatever, but...
Yeah, like, only one room did that for me, and I could tell... Yeah, I guess now playing Atari games, you might think it could be glitchy or whatever, but I think it was just to be like kind of spooky, because then when Michael walks through with the lights and hear the music, it's like, all right, actually I kind of like this. They try to make things a little creepy by using lights and
Gentlemen, they are called blackouts. Beware of electrical blackouts on the upper level, for the house is old and the wiring is faulty. At any moment, you may find yourself plunged into darkness with a killer in pursuit.
Got it.
Yeah, I liked it. It actually worked.
And also, I did double check. That is technically a knife in the manual.
Okay,
it's a big knife.
It's a big knife. I'm gonna pretend it was the hanger still.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, licensed video games have come a long way, but this is definitely an interpretation of the movie. Matt, how accurate to the film would you say this is?
100%. It got it. I mean, that's what Laurie did all day. It was just saving the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all for the kids.
That's the only thing I remember from the first movie.
Faithful recreation of the Myers house. I got both floors. There are a lot of rooms in that house. I mean, it is what it is. I'm impressed with the music, honestly. Like, I didn't think...
Yes.
Like, you can hear it in this Atari chiptune and hear the iconic theme. I mean, Michael looks, I guess, as Michael as you can look on an Atari, but, I mean, he's got the blue jumpsuit and a knife and the black shoes, like boots, but, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm curious how the licensing worked on this, because there's a couple things I noticed right away in the manual. Like, one, the cover of the poster, like the front cover that has like the poster on it. It doesn't say John Carpenter's Halloween, which is very weird because John Carpenter made that a huge point to have his name on this film. And then also in the manual, it's not Laurie Strode, it's the babysitter, and you never say Michael Myers or the Shape is the boogeyman or the killer.
Right.
So I wonder if they if they didn't have the licensing to say the characters' names because they were John Carpenter characters.
That makes sense.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, like you said, the cover of the game is the poster for the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, again, it's a game on the Atari 2600. You know, is it a faithful recreation? No, but I mean, Laurie Strode did babysit kids and try to protect them. She did send them down the road at the climactic part, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a fine single. I mean, it's not single screen, but there's, you know, for the most part, it's the same screen, just different color palettes and stuff. I did really like the when he did game over after Laurie Strode was decapitated, which again, faithful recreation to the film. They did the music with like the different flashing color palettes, and it reminded me of the last shot of the film when it's the music after Michael Myers has disappeared and is doing the different shots around Haddonfield, the streets empty. Now, obviously, they didn't have Michael breathing, but you know, I kind of was like, I wonder if that's what they were aiming for that.
That's that's a good observation. I don't think it's too far of a stretch. Matt, I guess before we rank this, what would you want to see in a more modern reinterpretation of the film?
Oh man, I would. My gut goes to say Friday the 13th, but that genre is getting so overdone now that I don't think I want that anymore. I don't know. I don't know if I want something. I feel like I would want like I don't know. I kind of want to go like Heavy Rain or not Heavy, like Until Dawn or The Quarry or something like that. I think you know, it doesn't have to be. Perfect. I don't think you have to do like the actual get away from Laurie. I'm actually done with the whole Laurie saga. Like, let's do fresh ideas now, guys. But like random like babysitters and keep Haddonfield, of course, and the Myers house. But no, you can do something dumb like what Resurrection tried to do, where they did like the webcam thing in the Myers house, but actually make it somewhat good and minus Tyra Banks and Busta Rhymes. And I don't know. I think you make something creepy with that, with having to control like 6 different characters.
Yeah, that could be a fun one, because I don't think I'd want to play as Michael. I think you want Michael to be the.
I want to be stalked by Michael. I think that's the power of the Halloween films.
Yeah, I think so. Mark, what about you? What would you want to see or did Matt kind of nail it?
That might be the best take on it, especially if it was like a Dark Pictures style thing where you have like even like what's it called, like a movie mode or whatever, where you and your friends all play different characters and the decisions play out and everything. I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
That would be see who survives Michael. That would be a neat.
Other than that, probably just like maybe something like Resident Evil 3 or 2, where it's like you have like instead of Mr. X or Nemesis, it's you're going through this whole thing, and maybe you're going through like a neighborhood or a town or something, and you have to watch where you're going because you don't want to go towards a huge populated area because you don't want to have more potential blood on your hands because of just being there,
Yeah.
So maybe there's like a weird like survival horror thing there going on.
Yeah, you have to make your way through a single house or a neighborhood and as like a babysitter and save a bunch of kids before Michael cuts off their head and blood spews from their throat. Might be a way to do it. Listeners, you should check out thefreecheese.com/thelist, where we rank every video game that we've discussed over the last 2 seasons of the podcast. Halloween gets the great honor of becoming the 78th game on this list. And I'm wondering, Mark and Matt, where we rank it.
I don't know. I'm looking at the bottom just for the sheer fact of it. Not the bottom, but around the bottom. I mean, it's just not much to the game. I mean, it's fine for what it is, but there's just not much there. And compared to what we have on here,
yeah,
even the stuff at the bottom has all kinds of different mechanics, even if they are broken in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, I agree.
My gut reaction was to put it as the new 75 right above Cool Spot. But below Lifeline.
I like Cool Spot over this, but
I was thinking like the similar spot. Actually, if I had the will in me to want to argue over the bottom of our list, I would even argue it's better than Lifeline, but I don't have this. I don't care about the bottom 5 games that much.
Actually, a Lifeline style game with Halloween would be funny.
I will stick to the quarry.
That'd be really good, actually.
Nah, I'm good. I've played Lifeline half a time.
All right, we're gonna make it new 75.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock it in. There you have it. Congratulations to Wizard Video Games and Halloween for the new 75.
Not being last.
You did it. You did it, pal. Yeah, not much more to say on that one.
No.
Come back next week.
Nice.
Huh?
Sorry, I just said just sometimes simple is nice.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I like playing this. Spoiler alert for the listeners, we know what we're doing next year for season 12, but playing this had me like, crap, do I need to scale down some for season? Like, do we need more simple, small games? I think I have a couple things, but, this is like just pure, easy. This was a nice, to Matt's point at the beginning of the show, this was a nice break from, stuff we've been playing over the last few weeks and months. But yeah, come back next week and get ready to trick or treat with us in Costume Quest 2. Until then, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. Bye.